In this section, you will learn how to install your LivingWater on a typical kitchen faucet. Installation is simple and requires only 2 tools: a strong pair of scissors to cut the tubing and pliers to tighten the diverter. Let's begin the installation by removing the aerator from the faucet. Normally, aerators are easy to remove by hand. If you find the aerator is too tight for hand removal, pliers may be used. Before using pliers, wrap the aerator with a soft cloth to prevent damage. Gently grip the aerator using the pliers and turn to loosen. Remove the aerator and set it aside. Next, locate the diverter valve. Make sure the rubber washer is inside the threaded end as shown. If not, install it now. Begin threading the diverter to the faucet by hand. Take care not to cross-thread the diverter. Fully hand-tighten the diverter, making sure the tube connector faces rear. Using your pliers, finish tightening the diverter to prevent leaks. Do not over-tighten. Next, we are going to attach one end of the white tubing to the diverter. Slide one of the metal spring clamps over the tube about 2 inches. While holding the diverter in one hand, push the white tube over the connector with the other. Using your pliers, depress the spring clamp and slide it up the tube, clamping the tube to the connector. To keep the water supply tube out of the way, we will attach the 2 plastic zip ties as shown. Depending on the style of your faucet, tie locations may be different. Also, if additional ties are needed, these can be found at most home improvement stores. Once the ties are attached, use your scissors to trim the excess material away. The LivingWater may be installed to the left or right of the sink. For this installation, we selected the right side. Run the water supply tube coming from the diverter along the sink backsplash to the unit. Make sure you allow enough tubing to connect to the product. Then cut the tube using your scissors. It's better to cut it longer, as you can always shorten it later if needed. Slide a metal spring clamp over the end of the tube about 2 inches. Next, pick up the 90-degree elbow connector and push the tube over the barbed end of the connector, not the smooth end. If you find assembling the tube to the connector difficult, soak the tube end in some hot water for a few minutes to soften. Using your pliers, depress the spring clamp and slide it up, clamping the tube to the connector. Slide the smooth end of the 90-degree connector into the inlet fitting on the side of the product as shown. Install the red locking clip to the inlet fitting to prevent it from coming loose. Now we are going to connect the drain tube. Take the remaining white tube and slide a metal spring clamp over one end about 2 inches. Locate the drain tube connector on the bottom. Slide the tube over the connector until fully seated. Using your pliers, depress the clamp and slide it up, clamping the tube to the drain connector. If you are placing the LivingWater on the left side of the sink, route the drain tubing inside the bottom channel as shown here. For a right side placement, route the tube as we are doing here. Next, stand the product up so we can cut the drain tube to length. The drain tube is held in place using a specially designed suction cup. Attach the suction cup at a convenient location in your sink. Position the drain tube in the sink and cut it. Attach the stainless steel flexible tube to the LivingWater. Adjust it so the flexible tube is over the sink. Before plugging in the LivingWater, remove and discard the protective cap over the plug. Turn the cold water on full. Now slowly rotate the black diverter handle 90 degrees to redirect the water flow to the LivingWater. If you observe leakage around the diverter and faucet, use your pliers to tighten further. Allow the LivingWater to run several minutes to flush the filters. Now you are ready to enjoy all the benefits the LivingWater has to offer. To keep your LivingWater operating at peak efficiency, we recommend you perform a deep cleaning at least annually. Depending on your source water condition, more frequent cleanings may be necessary. In this section, we will review how you perform the deep cleaning. Before we begin, locate the cleaning port adapter that came with your LivingWater. This port is needed to connect the cleaning kit to the unit. Remove the salt port cover by turning it counterclockwise and lifting up. Now remove the salt tube, setting both the cover and tube aside. Next, attach the cleaning port to the unit, making sure the cleaning port is secure and the connection is facing front as shown. Place the LivingWater cleaning kit in the sink closest to the unit. Remove the lid and inspect the contents. You should find the following items inside the plastic bucket: 1 package of food-grade citric acid, 2 feet of flexible tubing, a pump adapter, and a submersible electric pump. Begin by taking the pump adapter and threading it into the pump. After you have assembled the pump adapter, pick up the flexible tubing. Insert one end of the tubing over the cleaning port adapter. Take the other end of the tubing and insert it over the pump adapter. Make sure both ends are assembled as shown. Next, tear open the package of citric acid and pour the entire contents into the bucket. Begin adding water to the bucket, filling it about 3/4 full as indicated. While the bucket is filling, take a spoon or similar object and begin mixing. Continue mixing until the citric acid powder is completely dissolved. Place the submersible pump into the bucket, pressing it firmly in place. The pump is designed to be fully submerged in water and must be to operate correctly. Take the drain tube from the LivingWater and place it inside the bucket. If the tube does not stay, you can use the suction cup to hold it. Position the stainless steel flexible tube over the bucket as well. Verify the drain and stainless steel flexible tubes are correctly positioned. Before starting the cleaning process, make sure the LivingWater is unplugged. Next, pick up the submersible pump cord and plug it in. Water will quickly flow through the unit and out the drain and stainless steel flexible tubes. Allow the pump to circulate the citric acid solution for 60 minutes. At the end of the cleaning cycle, unplug the pump, remove the cleaning port adapter from the unit and place it in the sink. Replace the salt tube, taking care to align the tab into the notch as you insert it. Install the salt port cover by pushing it down and turning it clockwise to tighten. Make sure the cover is locked or water leakage will occur. Reattach the drain tube sink using the specially designed suction cup. Remove the pump from the bucket and discard the used citric acid solution down the drain. Rinse the bucket to remove any remaining solution. Place the pump, hose, and port adapter as an assembly inside the bucket. Replace the lid and set it aside. Plug the LivingWater back in. Turn the cold water on full. Rotate the diverter valve 90 degrees to direct the water flow to the LivingWater. Make sure the stainless steel flexible tube is positioned over the sink and the drain tube is secured. Allow the LivingWater to operate for 2 to 3 minutes, set at 10 pH before using. Doing so flushes any remaining citric acid from the unit. Turn off the cold water. Your LivingWater is now clean and ready to use.